Oh, Pat.
How's it going, Bryant?
We're back.
We are back.
Can you believe that this is Prodcast number 5?
Yeah, I can't believe it because we've lived it. It's a true story that has just materialized before our eyes.
T.S. Elliott wrote about it.
He did. And no one read it. So he just decided to write The Wasteland.
That and that's a lie. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You are prone to lies on this podcast.
Every once in a while. But what I don't lie about is our wonderful sponsors.
Oh. And we have a new sponsor.
We do?
We do.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Naked Juice.
Naked Juice.
Which is actually, for those listeners that don't know, Bryant has undertaken, and I'm sure he'll tell you more about this later, but he has undertaken a completely juice-centric diet starring Naked Juice.
Yeah.
What flavor?
Green Machine.
Green Machine.
Lots of micronutrients. As I don't know how many apples. Spirulina.
What was that last one?
Spirulina.
Wow, I never heard of that.
Green algae, apparently.
Sounds good.
And other good things. So, Naked Juice, do we have a promo code?
Promo code is Spirulina.
Spirulina. I don't think I can spell that.
Yeah, well, I guess we're going to have to look that up so the podcasters will know.
And then, of course, we've been arguing back and forth through email because they feel that the deals that we've been giving out are too good. But Zappos put in the promo code Prodcast and you get free shoes for life.
We put our foot down and we put our foot in that damn shoe, that damn free shoe.
Yeah. And since we're, I think, 258 now in the ranks of Podomatic, there's a lot of listeners.
Yeah.
258 in the comedy section, that is. So there's a lot of listeners, and they're getting a lot of free shoes.
Yeah, and we couldn't be happier for this shoeful world that we live in now.
Yeah, they're pretty upset about it.
Yeah,
I don't blame them though. I mean, we're rock stars. And then of course Bear Paint. That's BEHR paint for all your outdoor painting needs. And
if that's your thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that whole like man shit where you do everything yourself.
Zappos. Oh, we already said Zappos.
Yeah, we just said, yeah.
Damn.
LegalZoom.
LegalZoom, that's right.
LegalZoom. You put in the promo code that's UMM, and you'll get 30% off all death certificates, last will and testaments.
LLCs.
Yeah, LLCs.
Marriage licenses, divorce,
and
paperwork.
Free shoes for life.
Sounds good to me.
Some good dead air. And optic-remix.com for sunglasses. It's a good website. You should go there. Any other sponsors?
No, I think Naked Juice, that was big news. Once we got that email.
Once we sealed that deal, that was big big stuff for us. Owen mentioned Tommy Lasorda Baseball celebrating its 25th anniversary for the Sega Genesis. Or 20th anniversary, something like that.
But Owen had to be there to pitch it, so...
Yeah.
We're not gonna let that fly anymore.
And as we mentioned before, this podcast it takes place in Downey, California, and Tommy Lasorda from Downey, California.
Among others. Roger Daltrey, of course.
Yeah, Roger Daltrey.
Downey resident.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Danny, California. That's a terrible song.
By the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Sadly.
A Bryant favorite.
Sadly.
Speaking of music, though, should we dispense with our own little Downey, California ditty?
I think so. I hope you people are ready. We love you. Hopefully you don't log off right when we play the music, because I feel that this is going to be very spirited this time around.
And we like having you here with us, because you are with us.
In our hearts.
And our minds.
And I'm With You, the new album from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
What a terrible title.
I know. They could have came up with something better than that.
Like Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic with a K at the end?
Yeah. That's breaking all the rules.
It is.
Anyways, ready?
Let's do it.
Quack.
More.
Oh, you already did it, Doug. Damn it!
Meow, meow.
It's the Podcast Hour with animals now. We're animals now.
You didn't see that coming.
Meow.
Man, that was unexpected.
It was.
I didn't think you were gonna go there.
I didn't either, but we did. I enjoyed it though.
Well, I enjoy you.
Yeah, well, we enjoy each other.
And that's why we do this podcast.
Why other? There is no other reason, no real reason that there should be this podcast existing, but it is because we enjoy each other's company.
You know, there is no other in my life but you.
Well, I'm glad that I can take that vacant position in your life.
I have to hold myself back from crying after saying that.
I cried on the last podcast.
It was true. That's true. When you, I think you revealed that you weren't God.
Yeah, it was an emotional time, you know, when young men or women realize that they're not God. It's kind of a downfall.
Yeah, you had like your own like Nietzschean experience on air.
Personal apocalypse.
Yeah,
In front of our listeners' eyes. And their ears. Because they're listeners, not viewers.
Yeah, I said viewers, I think in the last...
Yep.
In podcast 3, I think, probably 5 times or something like that.
Yeah, well, you know that it's the for Bryant.
It is the I say a lot, too.
It is it's a promo code, so we have to
true.
say it.
I get paid 10 cents every single time I say
Yeah, so you got to milk that thing.
So there are some cool events that happened within the last week or so. One being FYF Fest. FYF Fest.
Yeah.
As James or as Dennis Lixane put it. But it's a festival in Los Angeles, California, and both Patrick and I were there.
We were there, and yet we just talked about this right before the podcast. We did not see each other at once during the whole 2-day event.
No, and it's, I believe, because you don't love me.
I just think there were too many people. You know, it's like...
Well, there was 50,000 people.
Oh, really? Is that what the number was?
Yeah.
You know, I think of it as the couple that is running to each other in the airport. You know, amongst the many travelers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really romantic, and here we are. We've reunited, and it feels so good.
If we did catch a glance at each other in the dirt,
through the pot smoke and the dust kicked up
in the patchouli, I think it would have been one of those moments, like a Say Anything or something like that.
Oh yeah,
an 80s movie, and we would just lock eyes.
But we're not going to make a Peter Gabriel segue here.
Is there one?
Wasn't he's the song that... Isn't that the song that John Cusack plays on the boombox? Isn't it a Peter Gabriel song?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But we're not going to make that segue. So instead, I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite band or performance, aside from Dinosaur Jr.? What was your favorite performance of FYF Fest?
I actually had a performance that I liked more than Dinosaur Jr.
Really? Okay.
And it's a group. Well, actually, it's just a guy who goes by the name of Tycho. And he's an electronic musician, but he actually had a band perform with him because he's not like the typical DJ or other electronic musician. He uses lots of computers and can do everything by himself. He plays all old synthesizers and all kinds of stuff, so he can't do everything by himself, so he had to hire a band. And I was expecting something good, but not of that caliber. And I don't think you've ever seen a man of my size and beauty dance so much.
Wow, interesting.
It was a delightful experience.
Yeah.
And I was literally blown away at how much I enjoyed it. And it was by far my favorite performance. It was solid through and through. And what people don't know about Tycho is that he's formerly known as Milton Bradley. Wow, I fucked that joke up.
That was a good joke, though.
Yeah.
I was going to mention, because Tycho, it's a toy company.
Yeah.
I applaud you for the joke. Do you want to give it another shot? We could just pretend that joke didn't happen, and you could try it again.
The funny thing about Tycho is that he was actually formerly known as Milton Bradley.
Oh, shit. That was a good one. That was a good one. I wish I would have written that down.
Well, you can steal it. It's yours.
We're a lot of, one of the things that my dad always asks whenever I used to go to a concert, whether it was a punk show or a ska or whatever the case may be, he always used to ask, did people dance? So were you the only person dancing, or were there tons of people dancing? No,
there's a decent amount of dancing, and there's a decent amount of people watching Tycho, because I think that was around the time of a lot of the other headliners playing. He played around 7:30 or something around there.
Interesting.
So
that's good to hear, though.
It was a good turnout for him, and it was just great. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. But how about you?
I actually liked. There were a few
I don't
bands
care.
that I like.
I don't care.
I thought we were gonna do my part of the segment now. Why can't I have a segment? No, but I really enjoyed a few bands. But my personal favorite, the one that I was really there to see, was King Khan and the Shrines, which they were great. They played and actually the time that they played, it was the hottest part of the day.
Yeah,
and a lot of.
I was in the beer garden in the shade watching from the side. Of the stage.
So did you watch King Khan?
No, I watched all of them.
Oh yeah, like he was great, and his band is great, and
he's handsome.
He is handsome, and he has that kind of Sun Ra thing going on, or I think he puts that on, because he wants to kind of relive that, showmanship, and I admire that, and I thought that was really well done, but the band was tight, and it was I thought it was great all around, and I was glad I saw it, and the crowd was good. They were, I think some of them were probably pretty tired from the sun damage, I guess, that was getting on them, but
that was the second day.
Yeah. It seemed like there was less people the second day. To me, it seemed like there were less people.
Depends on which bands I guess you were watching, because
that's true.
I mean, there's a huge amount of people watching like Beirut and the headline and Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah,
as well.
that's
there's
true.
A ton of people.
That's true.
But who's in? I know because we've talked about it before, but I knew that you're really wanted to see King Khan. But who else did you?
I really enjoyed the Vaselines as well. What? Just because you actually were the one that introduced me to the actual music. I'd read about the Vaselines.
I actually wrote a lot of their music too.
Oh well, I could see the influence.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed their set. There was, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a lot of weird sexual tension between the two singers. I don't know, are they married? Or were they married?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because the woman kept making references to the other lead singer's penis being smaller or something.
It could be just a Scottish thing.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe it's just a cultural, like, you see a person that you know and then you just talk about how they're bad in the sack or something. But no, I enjoyed them quite a bit. One band that I didn't really enjoy, but I guess I'm biased from the outset with them. M83, I was watching them. Like, I wasn't in the audience. I was kind of on this little bluff behind like where the big audience was, and I was watching, laying down, and I just wasn't very impressed. Maybe it's just I'm not too familiar with their music, but I wasn't blown away. I just felt like it could have been any other band up there.
Well, I do like a good amount of their music, but yeah, I wasn't really super blown away by the performance either. I don't know. It just maybe it just didn't translate well to that size of a festival or that many people, or I don't know. I just I didn't feel engaged. Yeah,
and it just I know that new single or that his most recent single. I forgot what it was called, but it's supposed to be about LA. But when I think of M83's music or the songs that I have heard, it does. I feel like it doesn't feel like LA. It feels like some cold eastern seaboard city or something. In some art school or some art school in an eastern seaboard city or something. But I didn't really feel too moved by it. But a lot of people seem to like it, so why not?
I wasn't moved or really entertained by Beirut or Beirut or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I think if for the end of a 2-day festival, I would think that they'd be going out guns a-blazing or really getting the crowd pumped instead of putting them to sleep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of slow songs. And
did you stay for a Turbo Negro?
I watched maybe 5 minutes of them.
Yeah,
at the most.
Honestly, we left before Beirut. Like I was too tired. After the whole second day, because we got there really early the second day, so I was tired. So we actually left before them. So
who I saw walking to see Turbo Negro wearing a Turbo Negro jacket was Nick Oliveri.
Oh really?
Yeah, and he looked. Like he...
Wait, was he wearing a jean jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's who that was. Yeah,
it had a big goat.
Yeah, I saw him.
He looked pissed off and methed out as ever, like he was about to go beat some people.
Man, that guy just... he carries that around with him.
Yeah, but I saw him, and I was like, oh man, Nick Oliveri. But I know that it's not one of those people that you could ever approach.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can, but he didn't look happy. He just looked fucking ragingly pissed.
Yeah, people like that, I sometimes wonder how, because you do see people that approach them and like they're kind of accepted with this really cordial attitude, as cordial as you could be when you're Nick Oliveri like that. But I just don't know. It's like almost like you have to like say the secret code. And that it says, "Oh, okay, this guy's cool. Whatever. I won't punch him in the face."
Yeah. You know who's like that is Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr.
I could definitely see that. Jay Mascis is
like, get away from me, asshole.
To me, I don't know if I'd ever be able to crack that code.
Yeah, I mean,
the Mascis
he
code.
also looks so threatening. Too.
Yeah, just sit on you.
What was interesting about watching Dinosaur Jr. this time around, because I've seen him before, was it seemed like the first time Jay showed emotion. And so he wasn't just this stoic, statuesque vampire, silver-haired larvae. No, but he actually, there's like facial expressions.
Oh.
And yeah. No,
was he, but has he always been stoic? Or were there like different periods that he was energetic and then he went stoic and now he's kind of like rebirthed into...
No, it kind of seems like he's always been in bummer mode.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I always felt like was their kind of appeal.
Yeah, but now he's like married and he's into like Indian religion and stuff.
Good for him. He's the George Harrison.
Yeah, he really is. I think he married an Indian woman.
Wow, so he really is George Harrison.
Yeah, so I think that's also why he's happy. George Harrison never wrote any bummer songs in his solo career, really.
Yeah, and you would think he would after Eric Clapton, stole his woman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, slow hand.
Yeah,
slow hand, more like quick hand.
Yeah, I guess so.
But who else did you enjoy?
Well, there's a band
or not enjoy.
There was a band that Sheldon actually had been encouraging me to see, and I actually missed them at a free festival that was in Eagle Rock. I saw you and Sheldon there.
Yeah,
the Eagle Rock Street Festival. Alalas. I think they were the first band on the second day on the main stage of
And you went there early?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow.
And we saw them, and they're very good. Very 60s throwback. Even some of the songs don't even have lyrics. Like, they're those kind of cool, surfy guitar instrumentals kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of, when I hear a band do a song like that, I kind of wish that they would just write lyrics for it, because it's a good, it's a good composition. Like Moby Dick from, like, a tangent, but Moby Dick by Led Zeppelin, great riff. They should have written a song around that riff, but they didn't. They made it into a drum solo. But in the same way, like, the Alalas had some really, like, they had great songs, and they had some instrumentals that were good, but I felt like, man, why didn't maybe they're just songs in progress that haven't been finished. But I enjoyed them, and I didn't hate anybody that I saw. I definitely, the guy from Interpol, we saw a little bit of him. He's a solo artist now. He was okay. He just wasn't very interesting.
Talked like a robot.
Yeah. Actually, I had never heard him speak aside from,
Or sing like a robot.
Yeah. He sang like robot. But then when he said, like, oh, hey, thanks, guys, he sounded like a guy that works at your video store or something. Yeah. So it was interesting. A nice dichotomy. But
he wasn't like, hey, it's nice to see you.
That would have been interesting. But I liked it better that he was human. He had that human side,
How's everybody doing tonight?
That sounds like an impression of somebody that we know, but I can't quite put my finger on who is it. It's not Terrence. Josh, maybe? No, I don't know. But how about you? Was there anybody that you were unimpressed by besides Beirut, or impressed by?
Well, I like I like the band Converge.
Yeah.
And
didn't see them, but
I'm familiar with probably their first like 3 or 4 albums, and I wasn't blown away by their performance, but I did find a nice hacky sack circle while Converge was playing.
Wow.
And I haven't played hacky sack since college days.
Yeah.
So
the only days to play hacky sack, college days.
Yeah. And there's a mean hack circle going. And me and a few other dudes were just chilling out, listening to Converge, some nice screaming heavy music, and playing some relaxing hacky sack.
Yeah, I would think that Converge would not be your prime hacky sack material, but that's interesting.
Yeah, but there's all these metal dudes playing hacky sack, so it was cool.
Wow.
But yeah, I wasn't blown away with their performance, and then that's when I turned around. I'm like, oh shit, there's a hack circle over there. Fuck it, I'll go.
Wow.
But let's see. Impressed by another good performance was Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt.
Did you watch them?
I didn't. I know you recommended them, but I don't know where we were when they were on. But I missed them. But tell me about them.
Well, you've heard their music before,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But what went through my head before they're about to start playing is, man, how rough is this going to be?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, immediately when they started playing, I was blown away by how tight technically they were. Because when you hear their music, it just sounds like a bunch of cavemen making noise. You know, just yelling and distortion and just anarchy. But I didn't think that would translate live, like how they'd be able to play these songs. But they pulled them off perfectly.
Oh,
and
good.
I was really, really surprised. That, and they're incredibly loud.
Yeah.
Like, it was just piercingly loud. So that was cool, too. Just how incredibly nuts it sounded.
I'm trying to think. There was some band that I listened to that they were really much louder than everybody else that I heard. I can't remember who it was. But
Dinosaur Jr. was pretty fucking
Yeah,
loud.
they were loud. I could definitely hear them from quite a ways away.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Refused. Did you watch Refused?
Yeah. No, I was I don't know where you were in the crowd, but I was like right in front of the sound tent to the side.
Okay.
So I was in a pretty good position.
Yeah, we were towards the back, but
Probably good, like 25 yards away or something like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed. I didn't stay for their whole set, but I enjoyed what I saw, and they looked just like they never left off. So.
Did you hear their cover of TVI?
You know, we parked above, like where the main stage was.
Mm-hmm.
If you looked past that, there's like a high school there, and we parked right by that high school. So as we were walking, you know, we went by the train station and up that kind of hill on College Street, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up there, and so while we were walking to our car, I heard them playing TVI, and I stopped for a second. And I was like, "Oh man, I wish I would have been there."
Wow, so you guys bailed?
Yeah, but I heard it. I heard TVI.
Wow, so you guys only heard maybe a quarter of their set. That was pretty early in, I think.
Yeah, but it was good. What I heard.
No, it was a good performance. It was another performance where I wasn't completely blown away, but I was impressed and I was happy to have finally seen them. Because Refused has been more than 10 years in the making.
Yeah, they've had a layoff. Yeah. So
it was awesome to finally say that I saw them.
Mm-hmm. And the main the lead singer, he's got some good charisma too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which you don't usually equate post-hardcore with charisma.
Yeah.
But he pulled it off, and fun guy.
You missed him climbing the rafters and all that kind of craziness.
Yeah, I believe it.
And there was a moment where he jumped into the crowd, and I think it was during Summer Holidays for Punk versus Punk Routine, where the crowd was actually holding up his feet, and it looked like he was like
levitating.
Like he was like walking. No, he was like literally looked like he was walking on the crowd.
Wow.
Like he was hovering over them or something. It was awesome.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of during King Khan's set. I don't know if you saw, but I think he was the guitar player during their song called "I Want to Be a Girl," with its gender confusion messages.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar player climbed on one of the amps and he pulled down his pants, but he tucked his little guy behind, so he just looked of indiscriminate or indeterminate. That's what I meant. Indeterminate gender. So it was interesting, and it was definitely a sight to see.
Maybe I'm glad I didn't see that.
Yeah. I'm kind of I kind of wish I didn't see it, but it was interesting, and it's memorable. I'll remember that.
Well, man, we've been talking about FYF for a while.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about feelings.
Fuck FYF.
Yeah, the extra F. Did you notice that they couldn't say F? They couldn't say "Fuck Yeah Fest." They had to say FYF Fest.
No.
Yeah, there was.
Well, Lou Barlow said,
"Well,
Fuck Yeah Fest,"
because he's old. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get what the kids
Dennis
are down.
Licksane said, "Fuck Yeah Fest."
Who did?
Dennis Licksane.
Well, he's not down either with what the kids are down with. FYF Fest.
And there's also swearing in the songs.
I know, I'm just kidding. But no.
That was a terrible joke. You're misleading the people.
But it's not a joke.
We lie enough as it is.
Look at the flyer, FYF Fest.
Well, flyer, that's understandable.
Oh, corporate. Yeah.
That's
it is understandable.
You know what it's time for? It's lightning round.
Okay. Wait.
Just to punish you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Now you remember how this works, right?
Remind me and the listeners.
I just have a list that I wrote probably no more than an hour ago of just random names of people, celebrities, or just words, possible future topics, and you just respond.
Okay.
The first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay.
And we should spend no more than 15 seconds on each one.
When am I gonna get to do the lightning round for you?
When you write a list.
Oh, I didn't know that was a prerequisite. Like,
it's too easy for me if I write the list and then hand it to you.
That's true. Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
We should add some lightning sounds after each topic, in post production.
Or maybe we'll just
Start.
doing our own lightning bolts. Just shoot.
Okay.
Man, terrible. You can stop. Everybody, you can stop listening now. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Abortion.
It's definitely a hot topic, especially with the election year, but it's a very, very complex topic.
Global warming.
Also, another complex topic. Is this the lightning round for the presidential election? Is that the theme of this lightning round?
Don't answer a question with a question.
Oh, okay. But I do believe in global warming.
The death penalty.
I am against it. I gave the political answer for these political damn
Okay,
topics.
well, I guess that's good. I mean, you're allowed 15 seconds.
But we just wasted it talking about it.
Same-sex marriage.
I think that same-sex marriage is no more at fault for the degradation of marriage than compulsive marriage people, such as those that have married 5 or 6 times.
Chinese democracy.
I actually heard someone the other day call it an underrated album. And I don't think it's an underrated or an overrated album. I think it's a very fairly rated album, considering it took 18 years to make.
Jared Leto.
I'm not quite sure that. Oh, he's an actor, but he's a musician too.
Mm-hmm.
I have
30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh yes. I've never heard that band, and I don't know too much about him. So
Audit the Fed.
Audit the what?
Audit the Fed.
That's a podcast in itself, and I don't want to start.
Boy Meets World.
I used to watch it, and I used to have a crush on Topanga. That was her name, right? Yeah.
I think Mr. Feeney, who's also the voice of Kit on
Really? On Knight Rider?
Knight Rider, yeah.
The old one or the new one?
The old one.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure he died like a year or two ago. Yeah.
Wow. That is kind of sad. He was older though.
Yeah, your fault.
Older gentleman.
Tool.
I thought you were going to go with Michael Clark Duncan, who also recently died. But I guess you're not going to sink to those depths today. But Tool, no opinion. Never liked him.
I'm not talking about the band.
So you're talking about the nature of objects that we use as tools?
The Olympics
are over. So hence they should not be a topic.
Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Never been a fan. And probably never will be.
Horse racing.
Another thing that I don't understand why it's still going on. Much like professional boxing.
Or Chinese democracy. Steve Vai.
An extremely talented musician that we put down consistently just because we're jealous. And he's a much better man and lover than either of us.
I'd definitely agree with the lover part.
Yeah.
He seems like he'd be a powerful lover.
Yeah, because he's very smooth and silky with his guitar work.
He'll legato that pussy.
And that what's with that handle that he has on his signature guitar? It's like,
I don't know, but
do you really want to carry your guitar like a suitcase?
I don't know, but he designed it.
He did.
He's the originator of the monkey handle.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask him why. We should have him on the podcast and ask him why that's part of his signature guitar.
I think we'd be blinded by his soul patch.
Does he still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Sexier than ever.
Yeah.
Eugenics.
Wow. I remember I had a class at the university that it talked about eugenics. It was about human biodiversity, and it's an interesting topic. Very dark topic, but interesting.
Wow, that was a stupid answer.
Winston, wait! This lightning round. What kind of answers are we looking for? Can I give you a topic and then have you give me a sample answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's your topic. Sample answers.
Sample answers?
Yeah.
Sample answers. Well, they're kind of similar to Simple Answers or Simple Plan, the band from Canada.
Oh, I see. So that's what we have to do. Okay.
No. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I know you are.
Winston Churchill.
Interesting historical figure. I wish I knew more about him. I should probably read some more about him.
Another terrible answer. Man,
I'm on fire.
people are just logging off by the second. Sexual assault.
Why was that fun? I think it was the reason why I laughed was because the way you said it, which is a very typical Bryant source of comedy, is to say something terrible in a funny way. I am against all forms of sexual assault, and I can't believe that it has become a thing.
Not according to your police records. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis. I remember I used to, and I think as most people did, get Jerry Lee Lewis and Jerry Lewis mixed up and not know which one is which.
I'm talking about the one who married his niece.
Yeah, of course. I like his music.
Jerry Lewis also married his niece.
Married Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis's niece. Man, she got around with those JLs.
What a bitch. The KGB.
I don't know enough about him to even really make a joke or a comment or a segue into another topic or another lightning round topic.
GHB.
No idea what that is.
GBH.
A punk band that I had a friend who was really into them, but he lived in a really nice mansion in Downey, so it was kind of lowered my estimation of him and the band. Gary
Wright.
Who?
Gary Wright.
No idea.
He wrote Dreamweaver.
Again. Oh, is that a movie?
No, the song from the 70s, Dreamweaver.
Oh. You got me there.
Wow, I thought you were more cultured than this. Samuel Becket.
Oh, see, there we go, culture. I enjoy Samuel Becket for many reasons, and not all of them have anything to do with anything he put on paper.
Sammy Sosa.
Never was a fan. I was more of a Ken Griffey Jr. person, being from Washington, and I hated that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire got all the credit. Makes me mad to this day. Cheaters.
T.S. Elliott.
Another cheater at life, changing religions. I like him, though. 4 quartets.
See, that was a good answer. There's a little bit of controversy there.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It was thought-provoking.
Yeah. What can I say?
That's my list.
I prod.
You interrupted me. You interrupted me while I was writing that list. Because you came into my house early, so I was only able to get those down.
How many? So I know next time. How many topics will fit for a lightning round?
I would like the next show to be one long lightning round, an hour-long lightning round.
See, that's more. The thing is with this podcast and how we've stylized, the format, which is basically anything goes for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
If we can last that long, it's already an endurance test. So even squeezing more endurance out of that by just doing even more rapid fire topics with little to no, explanation.
Sarah McLachlan.
I think that's going to actually segue into what I wanted to read.
Actually, yeah, funny enough.
For those of you who don't read, this book is called Defend Yourself. It's actually a book that I picked up at a bookstore for $1, and it's subtitled A Complete Karate Manual. Now, this book is completely ridiculous, written by David Chapnick in 1968. And the reason why it's completely ridiculous is because there are topics in here such as how to defend yourself against a gun, which I don't know how you defend yourself against a gun, but this guy tries to explain it. But it's most notable for the 4th and final chapter, which is advertised on the book as being a special edition to this edition of the book, and it is merely 1 page long. So if I could begin it, and then Brian can stop me when something thought-provoking comes along.
Okay.
It's called Chapter 4, Special Tactics for Women, special section. Women are subject to more serious and more vicious types of attack than men. A man may set upon a barroom brawler intent on beating him into submission, or a mugger who wants to rob him, but he is rarely the subject to an attack aimed at his life. The sex criminal often kills his victim. The The student nurses of Chicago and the stranglers' victims in Boston offer dramatic testimony to the dangers of a young woman may face in our cities today. The most important point to get across to any young woman is that these dangers are real. They are not figments of reporters' imaginations. I have never failed to be amazed at the nonchalance at which a vast majority of girls treat living in the city. Many don't even trouble to make sure that there are secure locks on their apartment doors. The best defense for any woman is to realize that she is subject to more than her share of danger. She must go out of her way to avoid subjecting herself to more peril than necessary.
So basically, this is like a weird episode of CSI already.
Yeah,
the way they describe how pathetic women are.
Yeah, and the fact that whenever a woman walks out of her apartment, every single person that she encounters is a rapist.
Yeah,
is a rapist or a murderer.
Yeah.
Or perhaps both, because rapists always kill their victims.
Yeah, the sex criminal.
Always kills their victim afterward. Shall I continue?
Go for it.
Okay, because it gets better. Even better. No matter how diligently you refuse to admit strangers, under any circumstances, no matter how adeptly you avoid dark streets at night and stick to crowded areas when alone, you may still find yourself in perilous situations. If you take a realistic attitude to the chances of you being attacked, you will be much less surprised and immobilized by an attack. Needless to say, most women are almost completely unable to defend themselves because they lose their heads at the moment that they realize that they are in danger. Save your hysterics for after. Once you have disabled your assailant, you will have plenty of time for crying. Oh my god. The same does not apply for screaming, however. The second you realize that you may be attacked, begin screaming as loudly as possible. This serves to startle your attacker and to make him worry about the possibility of you being heard. If he is still any distance away, combine running with your screaming, and you have a good chance of discouraging him. If he thinks about it at all, he won't pursue you. He not only will be running a risk of capture, since your screams are bound to attract attention eventually, but he will have to catch you before he can do anything. If you're wearing high-heeled shoes, don't attempt to run in them. Quickly take them off and throw one at him.
Why one?
Use the other as a club, striking with the heel if necessary. Even if your attacker is too close for you to run, or if you are concerned or cornered in a location where you are unlikely to be heard, scream loudly anyway. Your assailant will most likely instinctively try to silence you, usually by putting a hand across your mouth or by trying to strangle you. In the first case, all he will really accomplish is to remove one of his hands from being a threat to you. In the second, both his hands will be occupied, and both of yours, as well as both your feet, will be free. If you are... I love this part. If you are in one of our larger cities where cries of help are infamously ignored, you will have more luck in gathering a crowd if you yell, "Help! Fire!" repeatedly. City dwellers are seemingly more concerned in watching fires than in helping someone under attack. When screaming, you must be alert to possible blows directed at your head. Some insane assailants prefer to beat their victims into silence, even though it takes more time. If you hold your face in your hands, be sure you can see through your fingers and be sure to keep your head up. You may easily parry his blows by knife hand blocking them to the side. If grabbed in any manner, keep both hands in front of your face, in position to claw at your attacker's eyes. Those of you who live in apartment houses or who must spend time alone in large buildings should learn the location of the fire alarm, and at the very first sign of danger, pull it. This will bring a great deal of attention to the area almost immediately. The most important thing for a woman to do when confronted by a dangerous assailant is to fight like a woman. Bite, claw, scratch, and generally act like a wildcat. It may also be advisable for you to grab some part of your assailant's clothing and hang on with one hand. This prevents his getting you far enough away to strike out. If you don't panic, and if you fight like a madwoman, you have excellent chances of disabling, or at the very least, discouraging your attacker. The most pitiful sight I have ever came across as a reporter was the badly clawed face of a would-be masher. He looked as though he had run into an ill-tempered tiger. And that is how this book ends.
Wow.
The last words in this book are ill-tempered tiger.
Wow.
Defend Yourself by David Chapman.
I can't believe that wasn't in the poetry section.
It was beautiful. This guy, and if you ever find yourself with this book in your hands, you'll notice that this David Chapman is a very, very intimidating individual.
Yeah, he's vicious.
He's
vicious.
got a headband.
I think I'm gonna have to post a picture.
Oh, we're definitely gonna post a picture
on the Facebook here. Because I can't even get over how intense this is.
Yeah, it's really hard to even make it through the book because you realize that you're never going to be a physical specimen such as David Chapnick.
So to sum up the final chapter, for you ladies out there, basically, you have no chance of survival
Against any man.
Against any man, unless you run away and throw one of your shoes at him. Keep one handy so that you may need to club him.
Yes. And
to fight like a woman.
Yeah. Even though you stand no chance of defeating your assailant, you have to fight in the only way that you know how, which is like a madwoman, and which is to simulate the actions of a wildcat and claw and scratch at him.
Yeah. And also, you're just a bunch of hysterical, crazy cunts. And you can't keep your composure at all.
And since you can't keep your composure, you need to pull any available fire alarm in any public place.
And also, if you're being raped, nobody's going to help you.
Because our cities are full of people that would rather watch fires commence than help you fight off your attackers.
Man.
So women listeners of the Pryant and Bat Prodcast Hourn, I'm sorry. It's hopeless.
Unless you knife block. Knife block. That's the knife block right there.
And look at, oh man,
he's karate chopping through a rainbow. I wish you people could see this, but he's fucking karate chopping through a rainbow.
And I look
Chapnick.
I look at a book like this, and I think, who would have read this book? But I can imagine a lot of people reading this book. And what's even funnier is it in here? Like, if you actually look up this author, David Chapnick, and you look up this book, you actually see that he wrote another book that is about sexual relationships. And if any of you out there in podcast land, if you can find that book, I will give you money. So please, if you happen upon it, if you work in a independent bookstore and you find this book in your dollar bin, I will give you at least 10 times that amount for that book.
Or if you were to ship it to us for free as a fan of the show, Patrick and I will visit wherever you live and
do a live
satisfy all of your sexual desires.
Using David Chapnick techniques.
Yeah, that we read from the book.
Especially ones from this book.
Yeah, we're going to knife block your pussy.
And you won't stand a chance of defending.
We do gangbangs, swinger parties, bukkake,
and banquet halls for golf tournaments,
miniature golf courses,
and gas station christenings.
Dark alleys,
and Little League championship games.
The awkward office supply room at your job,
and the bathroom at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So if you are in any of those places or are aware of any of those events happening in your area, please let us know. But first, buy the book and send it to us.
Yeah, don't just invite us to random office supply rooms.
Because we're busy. This is our 5th podcast, people. 5.
Global warming.
We're so busy that we have to retread topics.
I had to abort that mission. I felt like we were losing momentum. Abortion.
No comment.
Bear paint.
Sponsor.
Zappos.
Additional sponsor.
So what else is going on in this life?
What is going on?
What's going on? What happened to that lady who sang that song? What's going on?
Wasn't that Marvin Gaye?
No, let's get it on.
Well, who sang What's Going On?
I don't know. There's that one lady from the 90s. And the
oh,
what's going on?
Oh, Four Down Blondes. Yeah, Linda Perry.
Okay, yeah, what happened to her?
She's written a lot of songs, I've heard. Or I've heard that she's written a lot of songs for people.
What is her stance on abortion?
I'm pretty sure she's a feminist, so I would assume that she's for abortion.
Well, you know what happens when you assume.
You make a generalization about a certain situation that you might not have prior knowledge of.
Sammy Sosa.
It's become a Tourettic impulse to come back to the lightning round.
But yeah, was that her only hit?
I think it was, but she's made tons of money since then because she wrote.
Why? What are your fucking CPA?
No, I just watched VH1's pop-up video a couple times, and
What do you have cable?
I did in the 90s.
What are you special?
Apparently, I was.
T.S. Elliott.
He's a special guy.
I think I'm just gonna sabotage everything you say.
When is that a new thing?
Right. You know, one of these days, I really do want to get a small handheld recording device, and I want to do podcasts in public,
Yeah.
where it would just be us. I think it would be a cool, interesting, different atmosphere if we were, you know, at a coffee shop or like walking around the mall or something.
Amongst our people.
Yeah.
Because everywhere we walk around, we just see podcast listeners.
And then I was also thinking that it would be cool that if you had a microphone in your room at your house, and then I had a microphone in my house, and we just podcast from our bed.
So it would be
From
kind
our
of
beds.
like, it'd be kind of like we were Skyping for podcasts.
Well, yeah, if you want to fucking ruin it by mentioning Skype.
Yep. That's what I had to do because you kept coming in with the lightning round.
Man,
If you hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have been Skyping our podcast.
Yeah, that's what I get for being a bastard. Is there a Skype cast?
I'm sure there is, you know, and I'm sure people watch it. People watch the most.
I'm sure the people who make Skype casts are noobs.
Oh yeah, they are.
And they
noobs.
have to like resort to making funny faces in the camera. See, we can't do that. We
No.
have to be entertaining for the people's
We do
ears.
make funny faces, but
We have to just
they can't be seen.
we have to fuck their ear pussies.
Yeah, gently, because they're still new. It's our 5th podcast, Bryant.
Winston Churchill. Man,
He's-
podcast number 5. It seems like we've been doing this for years.
Yeah, the level
I mean-
of professionality.
The level of just flow, the level of Flo, the progressive girl from the commercials.
Who I've heard gets a lot of dirty fan mail. I wish we would get some dirty
Well,
fan mail.
She can get it, but I'm going to give it.
Bryant's little heard catchphrase has been uttered.
That's actually my motto for life.
Your motto for life.
Yeah.
What?
And I'm also mono for life. I can't hear in stereo.
So what we're
I'm
ta-
also Bono for life.
and Chrono Trigger, the video game for SNES.
I bought that after winning the lotto. But
After reading the Hunter Thompson short novel Curse of Lono.
a big fan of that, Alyssa Milano.
Oh man.
Also boxing fan or boxer Cotto.
Rocky
Cotto
Oh, or Rocky Marciano.
Marciano.
I hate you.
Plato. He was a great philosopher. Plato.
Plato and Plato and Plautus together makes Plato.
Was there a dessert?
Weren't you going to the Playboy Mansion? You should have gone to the Grotto.
The grotto. Yeah, it's true.
Because you would have got a lotto. Nothing.
A lot of
Nothing. Which is what we have here.
Jared Leto.
Let it go. Let it go.
Boy Meets World. You know, Topanga, she was on a bunch of like
Lifetime movies.
Yeah, Lifetime movies and like late night shows where she was almost like a video music
Oh, VJ.
VJ. Yeah, she did a bunch of that kind of stuff. But yeah, she's disappeared. Let's go searching for Topanga. Do you remember that movie, Searching for Topanga?
Was that actually a movie, or is that just a bad comedy bit?
No.
No.
Having a stroke.
I'm having a stroke. Oh, man.
You know, if it's cool, can I come back to your place and give you a stroke? A different stroke?
These strokes? Not just a stroke, but these strokes.
How about the stroke from Billy Squire? That's a good song.
Wouldn't know.
How long can we keep this going?
Keep what going? Jared Leto.
Winston Churchill. No, I'm blanking. What are we going to talk about?
The middle finger.
The middle finger. I should give that girl from Starbucks the middle finger.
Which is actually what started this podcast in the first place.
It was. That was the birth of the podcast.
It was the birth of the podcast. Because I don't know if Brian's okay with me telling the story.
It's a good story.
But I basically, we were at Starbucks, and there was a, as there often is to single males, there was an attractive barista at the Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And actually there were two, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I told Bryant, I said, you should ask one of them out. And I suggested one, and he expressed his interest in the other. So long story short, I said, Bryant, ask out one of the baristas, and we will go do the podcast right after.
Because at that point, we'd been talking about it for a while.
Yes, we had been talking about this very podcast for quite a while. And Bryant did ask one of the baristas out. And we did do the first podcast that night. And then we made the fifth podcast.
You're really bad at telling the story.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get too personal.
Well, I'm going to tell the people how I approached this situation.
Okay.
Because I think I'm slick as a fox.
Okay.
And as clever as a beaver.
True.
Those are old colloquialisms. Colloquialisms. Anyways, I wrote, you have a brown cardboard sleeve over your hot coffee cup from Starbucks. You get those?
Yes.
And it's to protect your hand from being set on fire from the molting hot coffee. And what I did was I moved the cardboard slip down, and then I took a writing utensil and I wrote my number in the spot where the slip goes.
I provided the writing utensil.
It's true. We wouldn't even have this podcast if you didn't have that pen.
It's true.
But then I secured the cardboard cover back over the cup, and the barista was having a cigarette at her car, and she came back, and that's when I made my plan of attack. And I can pretty much tell you exactly how it went down with this funny little impression I will do.
Okay.
Of myself. Okay. And actually, this really isn't an impression. This is how I sound when I'm asking girls out. And she's the one.
She's the one.
She's the one that gave me the cup of coffee. Or was it the other girl?
It was the other girl. That's why I think the plan didn't work.
Fuck. I asked the wrong one out.
It's okay.
But I went up to her and I said, hey, there's something weird with my cup. And it sounded like I was having a stroke. I'm like, colloquialism. And I'm like, hey, there's the weirdest thing with my cup. I think there's a malfunction or something wrong with it. And then I moved the slip down. I'm like, oh, what is this right here? This is so weird. How did that get there? And she just laughed because I'm an idiot. And then after awkwardly laughing, I said, you can have this if you want.
See, the way hearing you tell it now, I kind of regret encouraging you.
No, it was awesome.
It was awesome. And you took it like a champ.
I did.
I'm proud of you.
But then she said, no, I have a boyfriend. And then we giggled awkwardly again. And then
we giggled.
And then I said, you have to admit, that was pretty good.
And she
said yes. And she smiled. And then we shook hands.
You shook hands?
Yeah, we shook hands.
Wow. Shaking hands with a mysterious barista.
And then I shook my fist at you coming back.
I remember that part. Because I wasn't looking at the situation. And so when you came back and you were pumping your fist, I was like, oh man, it worked. And I was really happy. But then you said, you sat down and you kind of threw yourself in the chair. And I said, oh, I guess it didn't go so well. And then you told me that story that you just told me. But you actually expanded upon the story that you told me at the coffee table. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that you did. You opened up.
You know, it's not even late. I should go look for the other girl.
Yeah.
Should hunt her down.
Yeah.
You're not down.
Podcast audience, are you down?
If you would like to join us at the Starbucks in Downey on Lakewood and Telegraph at around 10 p.m. tonight, we're going to be there. And I'm going to be creeping.
And this is going to be about 3 weeks late for you, listeners.
Yeah, and airing. Which is funny because we're talking about FYF. It's going to be old news.
It's going to be super old news.
Man, maybe I should just post this one ahead.
But there was no way that, you know, a review of FYF was going to be current news unless we posted it the day that we came back.
That's true. And who cares? You people should be, like, honored to be listening to us.
You love it.
Should be honored. Colloquialism.
We got to practice our enunciation.
I know. Well, we're from California, so we're lazy.
That's true.
But we're both college educated.
Actually, going back to FYF.
No.
I was behind people in line. They were speaking with British accents, and they were actually making fun of California accents. And I felt a little dumb because their accents are pretty cool.
I would fuck them up.
Oh.
I would have fucked them up.
Fucking rappers.
Fucking, why are you here, buddy? Trying to watch our music, man.
Actually,
let's get out. Where's the abort mission button?
It looks like a little square. It's called the stop button,
and it's in our hearts.
And I think we should have stopped when I said, podcast listeners, are you down?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a good way to end the podcast?
Man, and we didn't play the music in the background or anything, like.
Well, we're gonna end that later anyway. So no matter what we sound like at the end, we're just gonna play the music over it.
Yeah.
So we could just be saying the ABCs.
Maybe we should end every episode like that. It can be a tradition. When we're really like officially ready to end, instead of saying goodbye, we love you, and all those lies. We can be like, are you down?
Are you down? So that's like our sign off?
Yeah. Are you down?
Are you down?
Are you
down?
Are you So, Zappos put in the promotional code. Prodcast. You get free shoes for life. LegalZoom.com, 30% off. Put in promo code.
I can't believe we remember all these. We gotta write these promo codes down.
No, I think it's ingrained in our skin.
That's
in
true.
Our DNA.
Just the muscle memory of our tongues.
30% off. You get the certificate. You get the certificate. And what was it? Marriage licenses and
LLCs.
Last will and testaments. And then bear paint for all your outdoor pinniness.
And finally, our newest sponsor,
Naked Juice.
Naked Juice.
Was there a promo code?
It was that strange ingredient that you mentioned.
Spirulina.
Spirulina.
I don't even know if we mentioned what you get.
You get more spirulina.
you get like a box and it's like a frozen chest. You know, you can get Omaha steaks in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's like. You just get a big thing of spirulina.
And you stay healthy.
Yeah. And then,
so we've gotten our podcast listeners free shoes.
Mm-hmm.
A lifetime supply of spirulina for their healthy eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
And 30% off legal documents.
Basically, we're covering almost every aspect of life.
Yeah. If we get a penis enlargement sponsorship,
game over.
Game over.
So in other words, everybody listening to us really owes us a lot. They owe you that book. They got to send that book you're talking about.
They do. But we will settle for for their listening ear.
No, I won't. Fuck that.
I will, because I'm an understanding guy.
Winston Churchill.
We should just ended it on. Stop.
So yeah, that's about it.
I'm pretty happy with that, how it went. How about you?
I think the audience knows more about us, like we're like friends now than ever.
Before we were just acquaintances.
Yeah, but now
even though we told the story of how we became friends.
Right? But that's all part of it. I mean, I think we've all grown together. I've grown in my pants.
You're starting to sound like me in my streak of positivity.
Yeah. Abortion. And yeah, any parting words?
Just that I've had fun, and I'm looking forward to number 6. VI. Lennon.
Man, I had a joke, but I lost it. So I think it's a good time to end this.
And to lose this podcast.
But then it doesn't end. Remember we talked about that?
It never ends.
Circle of life.
A song that never ends. Wasn't that how Barney ended?
Buddhism. I love you all.
And to all, I say,
are you down? We can do better.
Okay.
All right,
we're gonna do a second take?
On three. And it's gonna be really quiet until you hear it.
Okay.
Are you ready, people?
Except for the cricket in the background.
Okay. Are you down?